Tonight, New Delhi's diplomatic retaliation. India expels a top Canadian official as tensions flare over the murder of a Sikh leader. The deepening divide.
This is going to really put a chill on a relationship that was already running on fumes.
And the grieving community calling for answers.
If you are not safe here in Canada, then where else you are safe?
An inflation rate jump fuels concerns over the cost of living.
This is certainly bad news, setting us up for more interest rate hikes.
The many factors driving the surge.
A lot more mindful about what we purchase.
Plus, the natural appeal of Canada's newest World Heritage Site.
We were waiting for this decision from the UNESCO for a long time.
The push to preserve Quebec's treasure, Anticosti Island.
CTV National News with Omar Sachedina.
Good evening, everyone. Two democracies are in a dramatic and public diplomatic feud tonight. Tensions soaring after Canada accused the Indian government of potentially having links to the assassination of a Sikh activist in British Columbia. Today, India's Ministry of External Affairs summoned Canada's highest-ranking representative, expelled another top Canadian diplomat, and called the allegations absurd. The clash prompting Canada's High Commission in New Delhi to take extra steps to protect staff. The rift is making international headlines, and neither side is backing down. CTV's Annie Bergeron-Oliver on the questions in Canada, the outrage in India, and the allies caught in the middle.
The backlash came quickly. In northern India, protesters chanted down to Justin Trudeau, accusing him of a hardline stance against India to win votes from Sikh Canadians at home. This is Canada's High Commissioner was summoned to India's Foreign Ministry, and his colleague, an unnamed Canadian diplomat, was ordered to leave immediately.
I don't think this goes away easily. This is going to really put a chill on a relationship that was already running on fumes.
For weeks, senior government sources say the Prime Minister knew Canadian security agencies had been pursuing credible allegations of a potential link between India and the murder of BC Sikh leader Hardeep Singh Nijjar. Justin Trudeau says he brought those allegations directly to the Indian Prime Minister at the G20 summit. Today, the Indian government called those allegations absurd and motivated, adding, "We reject any attempts to connect Government of India to such developments."
Government of India needs to take this matter with the utmost seriousness. We are doing that. We are not looking to provoke or escalate. We are simply laying out the facts as we understand them.
As a consequence, Canada has kicked out Pavan Kumar Rai, the head of India's Foreign Intelligence Agency in Canada. Intelligence experts fear nobody will ever be held accountable for Nijjar's murder.
If indeed an agent of the Indian state is involved in this, the odds are any planning and organization and operational control took place in India. Given what the Indians have said, there is no way the RCMP or anybody else from Canada is going to be allowed access to any of them.
Canada's allies, the United States and United Kingdom, released statements today, but neither named India and instead stressed the importance of the perpetrators being brought to justice. A potential reason? Both countries are looking to gain from India's growing economy. The country, with a population of 1.4 billion, is also an increasing geopolitical power.
There is that other factor posed by the reality that there is a very strong consensus among these countries that you really have to be careful not to rock the boat with India for strategic reasons.
The situation is not only politically precarious, it's also potentially dangerous. Today, the Foreign Affairs Minister said Canada's High Commission in New Delhi, Omar, has taken extra steps to protect its staff.
All right, Annie, thank you. Sikhs in India make up 2% of the population, but the largest population outside of the country is here. Around 780,000 Sikhs in Canada. Many, but not all, are supporters of an independent Sikh homeland. BC Bureau Chief Melanie Nagy on what those who knew Hardeep Singh Nijjar best are saying tonight.
Towering above a busy road in Surrey, BC, is the Guru Nanak Sikh Gurdwara, the place where Hardeep Singh Nijjar not only worshipped, but was revered as a leader, fighting for an independent Sikh state called Khalistan.
Hardeep Singh Nijjar is being celebrated as a martyr today.
Gurkirat Singh is one of the Gurdwara's many volunteers. He says his community is feeling relieved now that Canada has publicly acknowledged India's alleged involvement in Nijjar's murder.
This has been our concern, that the Indian state had a direct hand in the murder. How could this happen on Canadian soil to a Canadian citizen?
But with the relief, there's also resentment, which was expressed by Nijjar's son, Balraj, who spoke at a special vigil yesterday.
We're not letting this die down until we get justice.
The 21-year-old had plans with his father. The very June night he was gunned down outside the Gurdwara. He now wonders if Canadian authorities did enough to protect his dad, who was vocal about the dangers he faced.
This could have been prevented, in our opinion, from my knowledge, if it was taken as serious as it should have been.
It's not just people here at this Gurdwara who are still grieving Nijjar's death. His murder has shaken communities right across the country.
Canada must immediately identify and bring to justice those individuals who were involved in the targeted killing of Hardeep Singh Nijjar.
For his prominent role in the Khalistan movement, Nijjar was labeled a terrorist by the Indian government. While his supporters deny that, some in Canada's Sikh community are reluctant to speak out against India.
Things might go controversial if this is a very sensitive topic to talk about.
Others are asking for more proof, supporting Ottawa's allegations, including former BC Premier Ujjal Dosanjh.
Give us the goods. Tell us a little more, because this is a very serious allegation.
As for those at Nijjar's Gurdwara, they're now planning protests and calling for a public inquiry. Melanie Nagy, CTV News, Surrey, BC.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy used the annual gathering of world leaders at the UN to warn of the far-reaching implications of Russia's war against his country. Here's CTV's Joy Malbin in New York tonight.
Entering the United Nations General Assembly in his signature military attire, President Volodymyr Zelenskyy appearing for the first time in person, making a passionate plea to world leaders.
The aggressor is weaponizing many other things, and those things are used not only against our country, but against all of yours as well.
A stark warning from a man desperately fighting to save his country. And while the war is affecting global food and fuel supplies, Zelenskyy zeroed in on an arrest warrant for Vladimir Putin's war crimes, condemning Russia's alleged kidnapping of Ukrainian children.
Those children in Russia are taught to hate Ukraine, and all ties with their families are broken. And this is clearly a genocide. When hatred is weaponized against one nation, it never stops there.
President Joe Biden backed Zelenskyy, urging world leaders to stand up to Putin, saying Russia alone bears responsibility for this war.
If you allow Ukraine to be carved up, is the independence of any nation secure? I'd respectfully suggest the answer is no.
In Lviv, a massive wave of Russian missile and drone attacks set warehouses on fire in a war that seems to never end. Setbacks on the battlefield, Ukraine's counteroffensive has made slow progress. Now, in the second year of this bloody war, interest is starting to wane in the U.S.
I have questions for him. Where's the accountability on the money we already spent? What is the plan for victory?
Outside the United Nations, Ukrainian protesters pleading with the world, don't abandon us.
You cannot be tired funding freedom, because the freedom costs life.
Natalia's neighbor was killed by Russian forces just a few days ago. He was just 22 years old. Zelenskyy will take his case to Washington Thursday before a tough crowd of Republicans in Congress who say they're tired of writing blank checks. From there, he's on to Canada to address Parliament in person. Omar?
All right, CTV's Joy Malbin in New York tonight. Joy, thanks. 5 Americans imprisoned in Iran arrived to an emotional homecoming in the U.S. today after a controversial deal with Tehran. They were warmly embraced by relatives and friends who'd been anxiously waiting for this moment for years.
Real hero of this story, surviving
8 years of brutal treatment, but never losing hope. And showing what happens when you're hopeful, when you fight.
5 Iranians were released by the U.S. in the exchange. $6 billion in frozen Iranian oil revenues were also freed up as part of the deal. Washington says the money can only be used for humanitarian purposes, but Iran has said it can spend the money as it wants. And tensions have reached a tipping point in neighboring Azerbaijan. It bombarded a breakaway territory controlled by Armenian separatists, killing dozens of people. Nagorno-Karabakh is an ethnic Armenian enclave, but internationally recognized as belonging to Azerbaijan. The long-standing conflict has triggered 2 wars in the past 3 decades, most recently in 2020. Investigators are gathering crucial new clues in the mystery crash of an F-35 stealth fighter jet the military lost track of for 24 hours. A South Carolina police officer in a helicopter discovered the extensive wreckage in a remote debris field.
Ground crews are currently searching it. There's not much of it left.
A malfunction in the jet prompted the pilot to safely eject from 300 meters high. The Marine Corps says the pilot then parachuted into someone's backyard, adding the plane flew on autopilot for 100 kilometers before crashing. It's worth about $100 million. There are new concerns tonight. The cost of living could get worse in the near future, and it all has to do with how the Bank of Canada interprets today's inflation number, 4%, the highest since April, up from 3.3% in July. CTV's Heather Wright with a price check on what is driving the pain.
Inflation is higher for the second month in a row, raising the possibility the Bank of Canada could hike interest rates again by the end of the year.
And basically, the entire reason for the increase in August is due to that gasoline and energy prices increasing. Everything else is basically a wash.
Gas was up 4.6% last month compared to July and 0.8% year over year. Bad weather and supply both factoring into the rising cost of fuel. In July, oil-producing countries cut output, putting a squeeze on the global market.
We're in this dangerous situation where we are not within this 1% to 3% range. Key parts of the index are going the wrong way.
In addition to gas, Canadians also paid more for rent and mortgages. Rent increased by 6.5% nationally, while mortgage interest costs shot up 31%.
Right now, because of higher interest rates, mortgage interest costs have risen quite a bit. And that one factor alone is contributing a full percentage point to inflation in August.
There was, however, a glimmer of good news. Food prices, while still high, seem to have stabilized.
When you look at all food categories, only one category is more expensive compared to July, and that's fish. Not a huge category. And so things, you can feel that across the grocery store, prices are starting to stabilize already.
The Bank of Canada has raised rates 10 times since March 2022, trying to rein in sky-high inflation. In a speech today, the central bank's deputy governor said there are signs the rate hikes are working, despite the ups and downs of inflation.
Recent data have provided evidence that our policy rate increases are slowing demand. We're mindful that past increases in interest rates will continue to weigh on activity.
The Bank of Canada has 2 more rate announcements this year, one in October and one in December, with some analysts saying there's now a 50-50 chance interest rates could rise by the end of the year. Omar.
All right, Heather, thanks. There is late word tonight of a tentative deal between Ford Canada and Unifor, the union representing more than 5,000 workers at the company. The union had set a strike deadline of midnight last night, but that was extended after it received a new offer. Improved wages and pensions among the key issues. Coming up, the challenge of cleaning up after a cyber attack.
More and more organizations are getting impacted by cybersecurity-related incidents.
The Clorox hack now blamed for a bleach shortage. Plus, when a football fan brawl turns deadly. Authorities are investigating the tragic death of a football fan after a fight erupted in the stands at an NFL game on Sunday. Witnesses say it started with taunting between fans and escalated into a full-out brawl. Stadium security tried reviving 53-year-old Dale Mooney for 10 minutes, but weren't able to get him back. Mooney was a husband, father of 2, and lifelong New England Patriots fan. Police say he suffered, quote, an apparent medical event.
A fan in the Dolphins jersey reached over and just punched the victim twice in the face.
At the same game, this fight broke out between 3 women. NFL spectators scrapping has been a common sight this season. In Cincinnati, the hardest hit happened off the field. An autopsy is being conducted on Mooney to determine how he died. Some incredible video out of Minnesota tonight where remarkably 2 drivers walked away with non-life-threatening injuries from a terrifying crash. A traffic camera captured the moment a car slammed into a transport truck, the vehicles bursting into flames. Both drivers were wearing seatbelts. Clorox is telling shoppers to buckle up for continued shortages of popular cleaning products as it continues to recover from a cyber attack in August. CTV's John Venavelli Rao on the lingering impact on the supply chain.
With the flu season nearly upon us, consumers heading down the aisle looking for popular cleaning products like Clorox wipes may soon see emptier than usual shelves. But this time, it's not pandemic-related supply problems. Instead, computer hackers are to blame.
We don't know exactly what happened here. Was it a ransomware attack? Was it that a third party was potentially breached?
In a statement, U.S.-based Clorox says unauthorized activity on its computer systems in August have caused wide-scale disruptions, impacting some of its manufacturing sites, forcing the company, which also makes bleach, to switch to process orders manually. The company says it could all lead to consumer product availability issues across our portfolio globally.
Clorox says it's still trying to fix its systems, though says at the vast majority of sites, production has resumed.
Still, there could be shortages. This all comes as the Weather Network continues to have problems with its app after another recent incident.
We're definitely hearing about cyber attacks on a much more frequent basis, and they're having massive impacts within organizations, within our economy.
Earlier this month, American casino giant Caesars was the target of a ransomware attack, paying cyber thieves $15 million. MGM Resorts was also hit, knocking out slot machines in Vegas, where guests waited hours to check in. And 9 days later, some computer systems are still down. As for Clorox, it still doesn't know when its operations will be fully back to normal. John Venavelli Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
Still ahead, high-tech visitors.
I didn't know how I was going to react to him, but now I could take him home. So guys, I hope you're insured.
Meet the social love bots that want to be your best friend. Well, like it or not, artificial intelligence is here to stay. And as it becomes part of everyday life, an experiment is looking at whether technology can fulfill a fundamental human need. Here's CTV's Shannon Patterson.
So now it got a jersey on it.
Today's visitors at Amica Senior Living in West Vancouver are getting a lot of attention.
I think they're adorable. Lots of fun to play with once you get used to them and over your fear of looking stupid.
Kiwi and Mango are social robots on loan from Japan.
It sings with you, plays with you, dances with you, follows you. Just make sure that you feel that you're in love.
They're at Amica as part of a UBC research project on how seniors interact with this type of artificial intelligence.
There's a really huge demand and desire for connections, social connections, right? This is what the robot does, right? Positivity, joy, for quality of life.
These robots are programmed to recognize people's faces and voices, and they'll become more attached and more loving to residents who interact with them. Hi, Kiwi. How are you?
It's hoped the robots will help seniors in assisted living who've struggled to socialize after the pandemic lockdowns.
I think it would be the best thing for people that are shy and don't want to come out of their room and meet anybody. But you could play with it all day once you become used to how they react to you.
I think it's fantastic for a certain group of our residents. At Amica, we always try to find new things to enrich the lives of our residents, and anything we can do to help bring some social connection.
The robots will visit Amica every Saturday until next March.
We'll do interviews and a lot of observations and letting staff and older people interact with the robot and ask them their perspective and what do they think about the possibility of having robots in their life and in the environment.
I didn't know how I was going to react to him, but now I could take him home. So guys, I hope you're insured.
If the experiment is a success, Amica will look at making these high-tech visitors permanent residents.
Mango!
Shannon Patterson, CTV News, West Vancouver.
After the break.
It's such a big event for the Anticosti Island and the population, the community who lives there.
Celebrating a monumental designation for a majestic Quebec island. A jewel in the heart of the Gulf of St. Lawrence has received a coveted global designation. Genevieve Beauchemin on what has captivated the world.
On postcard perfect Anticosti Island, deer roam, salmon rivers flow, and only 200 people live. This morning, several of them crammed into the local cafe and tuned in to the live announcement from the UNESCO conference in Saudi Arabia. There, Anticosti's representatives celebrated the announcement. It is now a World Heritage Site.
We were all so overwhelmed by the decision of the UNESCO. We were happy, but full of joy, of pride.
The UNESCO recognition, years in the making, is a nod to the unique geology of the island. Embedded in its cliffs are hidden gems, fossils telling of life more than 400 million years ago, making this land with a rich history a remarkable open-air laboratory. Anticosti once belonged to a wealthy chocolatier Henri Meunier, who used it as a fishing and hunting camp. Local legend has it that in 1938, an offer to buy the land came from German men posing as members of a social club.
They were just spies looking over. They were trying to get the island to have a place here where they could have a submarine base.
Pulp and paper giant Consolidated eventually took it over and set up a mill, but also a school and a church for workers and their families. The province of Quebec bought it in 1974, and over decades the potential for oil and gas reserves was explored on a small scale. Then in 2014, the Parti Québécois government struck a deal for drilling. Then Premier Pauline Marois estimated a $45 billion windfall for the province. But the deal was scrapped, and the campaign for UNESCO designation intensified after loud opposition.
Drilling for oil and gas in a beautiful island, in a jewel in the middle of the Gulf of St. Lawrence was pure madness.
Now officials also hope the UNESCO World Heritage status will bring scientists and nature-loving tourists.
It can change everything. This decision brings opportunity.
The plan, and the gamble perhaps, is to shine a spotlight on the wonders of the island while also preserving its wild beauty. Genevieve Beauchemin, CTV News, Montreal.
Spectacular part of the country, and that's a snapshot of this Tuesday for all of us at CTV National News. Thank you for watching. Good night, and see you tomorrow.